Hello, my name is Chandra, and we are making some weeknight dinners, which we're always making weeknight dinners around here because there's not really any other options. Sometimes I wish there were. Sometimes I say to my husband, don't you wish that we could just order takeout tonight? But we can't do that, because we just don't have anywhere near us that does that. We live too far out in the country. So tonight I am making, right now, some French fries out of sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. This is very much a mishmash of sides as far as just what I could find. Our CSA is on break right now. That's community supported agriculture, and I'm really missing it because I don't have vegetables just coming in every week. I have to go get them. And I don't always get time to go to the grocery store. So I had cabbage, I had some potatoes. I'm gonna saute this cabbage and bake these French fries at a pretty high temperature. I do have my meals planned for the month, but I planned the main meat dish, wherever the main is. I don't plan sides because it kind of depends on what I'm gonna have in the refrigerator at the time. So what I did have planned was these Persian kebabs. I used beef and I seasoned them up. I ended up doubling all the seasonings from the recipe because I thought the recipe called for only half as much salt as I would normally use. I used about a teaspoon of salt per pound of meat, and they were only wanting a half a teaspoon per pound. And I thought if the salt is short, maybe everything else is short too. And they were not overly spiced. They were not a huge winner with my whole family, but I liked them, and I liked them a lot leftover. I did a lot of cubing these up and sauteing them to get them crispy and putting them on salads or in with some cubed up sweet potato as something to go underneath some fried egg. So that was good. I don't think I would make them again for the family, but I would make them again for myself. These fries I soak in water to keep them from turning brown and also to get some of the starch out, especially of the white potatoes, and then they get crispier in the oven. So once they come out of the water, I dry them a little bit on a towel. Salt, pepper, fat, I believe that was chicken fat, schmaltz, that I had there. Actually, I know it was. And mixing that up, and those will go in at 425. They take about half an hour, and I toss them around halfway through. The kebabs will get some lemon squeezed on them, and then I thought I'd also finish the cabbage with that lemon for a little bit of acid. But I'm just sauteing these in that same chicken fat that I had in my refrigerator. And here we are. Joe grilled these kebabs, so they have those nice grill marks on them. Another night, another dinner. We are having stir fry, which is a meal I make a lot, almost every week, because it uses up anything that I have left over. It's not always why we do it. We like stir fries a lot. We like Asian flavors. And we thought we were really brilliant, and we were going to use teriyaki sauce that we make for our wings. And I had made a bunch of it because I had a bunch of the ingredients to make it. So I just made a bunch and froze it. And we thought, well, this would be a really good sauce for stir fry and easy because it's already made, but ended up being kind of strong in a funny way. It's so good on wings. I'll link it below with everything else that I can link. It's great for wings, but maybe there's not the balance of the blue cheese that we have with wings. I don't know, but it was a passable dinner, but we won't use that teriyaki sauce again for stir fry. So I browned my chicken first, and then in the pan I have some broccoli stems and some carrots, which I just kind of tried to cut similarly. I put in some onion, and I do have a little bit of cabbage left from our dinner the previous night, and I'm going to put that into. I often use cabbage in stir fries. And that I'll just put in towards the end since it's already cooked. We will have this with rice, which I do try to always cook in some sort of stock, usually chicken stock. Tonight we are having loaded baked potatoes, which is a wonderfully customizable meal for each person. So we have all of our toppings and we have our potatoes. Next we are having some fish sticks and tater tots. So for the fish sticks, I make a batter with equal parts cassava flour and rice flour. And then I add water just until it's like pancake batter. This time I always add salt. I also added paprika and garlic powder, and I think onion powder also, just to taste. And dip those in that batter and then into the hot oil. I get that to about 375. Now I'm making some tartar sauce, which is mayonnaise, dill, chopped up dill pickles, garlic powder, salt, and some lemon juice. The fish usually cooks for about 5 minutes before it's done, and a good way to judge when a fried food is done is when it stops splattering as much, because a lot of the water has been cooked out of it. We recently bought a whole pig, which we do about every year, and just came, so this is the first time that we are having pork chops. They were really good, and I'm getting them out and salting them a little ahead of time so they can come to room temperature. On a good day, I'll salt these the day before or even that morning, just so the salt has time to really absorb in. It makes the meat really tasty. But this is good too. So I'm salting them on all sides, and we used to grill these, but one night I did them in the pan for some reason. Maybe Joe wasn't home and I don't grill. He does it always. And they were so good, and now we never grill them anymore. This is butter going in the pan for some pierogies. And these are pierogies that I buy. I keep in the freezer. I have made pierogies and they are really good when they're homemade, but that's a lot of work, and sometimes you just wanna get something out of the freezer. So I'm getting some onion sauteing, and I'll boil the pierogies first to cook them, and then we'll saute them to brown them in that butter. But here's my pan, and I put this on not too hot because I want to render the fat on the sides of these pork chops. So these are going to go for a good 10 or 15 minutes until that fat is really nice and rendered. So they're going to create their own fat to cook in, and also that fat will melt in your mouth delicious, which that's another thing that you don't get on the grill. It doesn't get rendered. You don't want to eat that fat. It's not tender and just melting in your mouth. So we really like these pork chops. This is how we do a side salad for everybody. Everyone gets one, even those who don't eat it, like Nora, but I think if it sits there for enough years, however long it takes, one day she might just take a bite. So the simplest is just lettuce, but I have carrots today, so a lot of times we just have lettuce and carrots. Everybody gets their own dressing. I put out some pickled beets that I found in the refrigerator and some sauerkraut, and that'll be salads. This is a crock pot dinner for a busy day. We are home in the morning and we do have school off this week. We decided to take school off this week. We're be homeschool, but everybody else has it off and we took it off too. But we have a lot of other stuff that we have going on. So I'm getting this, all that to say, I have more time in the morning because I'm not doing school. So I'm getting this into the crock pot early. This is a piece of brisket, actually. It's the last bit of beef from our previous cow. So I wanted to use this up, and I'm just going to put it in the crock pot with, this is like a Korean beef that we're gonna serve over rice with some scallions and another side salad. I'm gonna saute some onions in that flavor that I've gotten from searing the beef. It is all going to fit in that crock pot I had to work. And then I will use the soy sauce component to deglaze that pan. Then I'm going to add some vinegar, some ketchup, some ginger, some garlic. I can add this recipe down below for you. It was pretty good. I don't think we'd do it again exactly like this. It was a little strongly flavored. I think it was really just a lot of soy sauce, and maybe if I did it with coconut aminos, it would be less salty and therefore less intense, but we still enjoyed it. I wanted to show you how easy it is to clean a cast iron pan, because it really is very easy, especially if you do it while the pan is still hot. Just put it under water, and I use usually my spatula that I was using to cook to just scrape everything off of it, and it comes off so easily. Then I just put it back on the stove and turn the burner on to let it dry. We will have a lot of leftovers of this, and what I'll do is put them in a freezer bag and freeze them, and I think when we have them again, we will do them as tacos with some slaw